yeah. I think it's more pronounced Ghistork.
Good evening.
That's my line.
You know what? It's all fair game tonight. Welcome in. What's up? This is for the live. This is a live open only. This will get cut. We need your help. Those of you that are watching right now. How do we sound? Robbie,
Yeah.
Tyler, what's up?
Yeah, how's it going, everybody? Everyone watching Wardy and Wham, how you doing? We're going over MLB predictions, but we want to make sure we're all set up and hearing nice and sounding nice and all that fun stuff. So make sure to let us know in the live chat as you guys are first chiming in how the audio sounds for me. Robbie.
What he said.
Yeah. Keep talking, though. Yeah. You got to make sure the audio goes through.
Oh, yeah. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to tonight's show. Boys, what are we going to talk about tonight?
We're going to talk about a lot. That's what we're going to talk about.
What do you think? March Madness is right around the corner. All right. And listen, for real, those in the chat, 1 if it's good, 2 if it's bad. That's it. 1 or 2. 1 good, 2 bad. And thank you for the patience, those of you that have been hanging out for half an hour. 1 if it's good, 2 if it's bad.
We already got a question about DJ Stewart. We're rolling. Let's go, baby.
Let's do it.
That's not what we want.
1.
Nick's got a 1.
We got a 1. Let's go.
Keep it coming. What do we got? How do we sound? Robbie,
volume check. Give me a 1 if it's good. 1 if it's good. 1 if it's good.
I got 100 people on my side. What do we got? I need a ton of 1s or 2s. My chat's not loading.
We got
a ton of 1s. Mantis, Wendy, Blackgrass, Brian, Raymond, Spinning Mantis. I don't know if I got that right. Angelo. Okay.
Also, how's the video quality too? Let us know, guys. Again, we got everything set up. We're hoping that the camera quality is good. We realize it's a little dark. We're currently set up at the BetUS House's bar, as you see right now, and it's nighttime, so that's why it might be a little dark. So apologies in advance for that, but just want to make sure we look and sound the best for you guys, and then we will get rolling on what is going to be a really fun show tonight. And we're doing a lot of shows here in the coming days, so make sure you guys are on the lookout.
Yes. We're going to do the real open in a couple seconds here. So thank you guys for giving us the feedback. There's nothing but 1s in the chat, which means we sound good. The baseball gods are smiling down on us. We did something right. What do you say, guys? Shall we actually start this thing? Let's start. Who wants to do the open?
I'll do the
You're
open.
in the middle.
You're
in the middle. Wardy's going to do the open. Ready? Let's count them down. 3, 2, 1.
And we are live. How you doing, everybody? That is Jim at Ballcap Sports. That is Robbie at Robbie High Baseball. This is your boy Wardy at Wardy and Wham. We're coming at you here from the BetUS House here in Port St. Lucie spring training. We were in attendance at the Mets-Tigers game earlier today. Had a lot of fun interacting with you, the fans. And now today we're breaking down our MLB Player Award predictions for the 2024 year. We're going to get into, again, NL, AL MVP, Cy Young, everything in between. You name it is what we're breaking down, pairing it with our amazing sponsor at BetUS and their live odds. So highly implore you all to make sure you check out the link in the description and the QR code that we have. You can literally use your iPhone right now and sign up. It is that simple. That way you too get a 125% boost off not your first, not your second, but your first 3 deposits. That easy. If you deposit $100, you automatically get $225 to work with. MLB Futures is what we're going to be emphasizing in tonight's show. Jim, Robbie, let's get into this one.
We have some guests too, don't we?
We do have some guests.
We have some guests. As you can see, they can't fit on the screen right now. Otherwise, they might be with us. So as the show goes on, you can't go anywhere because these guests are going to make an appearance. Should we tell them who the guests are, or should we let them?
That's a surprise.
Let them wonder.
Nice surprise.
We're going to let you wonder. If you have been following us on socials and seen some of our other videos, you may already know who the guests are going to be. But if you don't, it'll be a pleasant surprise when we get there. I think we'll probably have our first guest on in the next about 5 minutes or so. But Robbie, what do you think? Should we light a candle to this thing? Should we get it fired up?
What do you say, boys? Let's go. Yeah. I think we're starting off with the NL MVP.
Yeah, there's somebody up here at the table is feeling really good about the polar bear. So let's start it off. We're going to talk NL MVP. Make your case, my man. Tell me why.
What do you got for
Tell
us?
me why.
So naturally, being the only niche YouTuber here where I cover one specific team, I of course have to do the homer bias and tell you why Pete Alonso is going to win the NL MVP this year, and that's directly backed by him having a walk year. And this is something that I spoke about with my man that you'll be seeing later on in the live show too, in a separate video tomorrow at the time of recording this. But Pete Alonso, as we know, is one of the best home run hitters in all Major League Baseball. If you try to find who has more bombs than him since the start of the 2019 season, might take you a while because you're not going to find anything. And now in his walk year, the big thing with Pete is not only his ability to spread the field a little bit more that we didn't see in 2023, but also eliminating the chase rate. That's another thing that he had a heavy emphasis on this past offseason. We know slider down and away can be a problem, fastball up and in. So we want to see Pete more back in that 2022 range. But knowing it's a walk year, something that he's never experienced before, and knowing that this is a guy that can easily give you 45 to 50 plus bombs a year, I think we have yet to see the best of Pete Alonso, and I think he has a great potential to have his best calendar season. Now, of course, the biggest arguments against him winning MVP is, one, he's playing first base, and he's not even the best first baseman out there overall. Yes, I agree with you guys 100%. Defensively, he's been up and down. I will say this past year, again, he's continued to work on his defensive game quite a bit. But overall player, you're looking at true offensive production. I think Pete Alonso, this might just be the year where his home run numbers, RBI numbers, and his true offensive production just might be enough to at least, at bare minimum, have him in the conversation.
All right. I have maybe two numbers to throw at you as the rebuttal, and that's all I need.
Sure.
40-70.
40-70. I know.
So,
I get it. Trust me.
Right?
I know. I hate it. I despise the Braves. Is Acuna the best thing since sliced bread? Yes. But with that being said, however, I also want to know how healthy Acuna is going to be this season. That's one of the factors I'm thinking about in regards to him winning back-to-back MVP. If you want to take things a step further, I would even argue that if someone is going to win that isn't Pete Alonso or isn't Francisco Lindor, that I have a little bit of share about in a second, you know, there's a guy in San Diego that I think's destined for a big year. Nando, I think, is absolutely a one that's going to find himself in the mix too. And then, you know, from there, you got the guys in LA. Take your pick. Robbie?
Well, I'll say this about Pete Alonso. I think the big thing that's going to hold him back last year, like you brought up the chase rate, right? Not getting on base as much as he had before. I wonder, you know, lower batting average, is that going to keep being a thing with him? Because at the end of the day, the voters, they're going to vote for those kind of stats, the batting average, how much you're getting on base. And now you're starting to see more speed coming into the game, right? Where guys are, obviously we just saw with Ronald Acuna Jr., 70 stolen bases, right? And now you're even starting to see people out there looking at how Mookie Betts, how versatile he was last year. I think it's just going to be really tough for Pete Alonso to be able to eclipse those guys where, yes, he's going to hit a lot of bombs, but in today, with the way the voters are looking at things, is that going to be enough? Because I always look at awards not based off of what we think. I look at from the voters' eye, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
you're 100% right. And the voting, of course, is going to play a big factor into this. And before we get off the Mets topics, because again, this is not going to be a completely Mets-centered show. So my viewers here at Wardy and Way, make sure you're watching the whole thing because we're going over all MLB player predictions. But aside from Pete, I did just want to share briefly about Francisco Lindor. Yes, he's absolutely a dark horse as well, but something that separates himself from Pete Alonso is, again, that true athleticism as one of the most elite defenders in the game today. You will not find a better shortstop currently coming out of the NL unless Mookie Betts really does become that guy in LA, which we'll find out. I'm going to go on a limb and say Lindor's defense will still probably be better for a guy that hasn't had the experience since high school in Betts. But Lindor, what separates him too is his ability as a true WAR player. This past season was a 6 WAR player. In 2022 was a 6.6. We go all the way back to 2018, his early days, of course, there with the Cleveland Indians, now Guardians. He was roughly an 8 WAR player. Can Francisco Lindor unlock that potential again to become a 7-8 WAR player? If he can do that, not only with the elite defense, we know he's durable. He's going to play out there no matter what. Get that batting average a little bit up for the people that care about that. 30 bombs, 100 RBIs is the lock with Lindor. Stolen bags, you know you're going to get him at a great clip. Had 31s this past season. If he takes another step in his game this year, which again might be a tall task for someone where you kind of know what you're getting. If you do, though, however, Lindor very much, along with Alonso, will be in that conversation. So for my Mets fans, again, the odds right now through BetUS, if you want to get in on the action, plus 2,800 for both Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor. So take your pick. If you're a Mets homer like me, if you want to bet on one of the two, you make sure that you're going to hammer that right now. If you put $25 in, you're going to be cashing out at 700. So again, if you're a homer fan, if you want to get in on these future bets right now, click the link or scan the QR code watching live and use our awesome bonus, 125% bonus with your first 3 deposits at BetUS.
Yeah, that payoff is big. Like that's it. Like there is a path for Pete or Francisco Lindor to win the MVP this year. Pete's in a walk year. Pete has all the motivation in the world to go out there and hit 60 home runs. If anybody can do it in the NL, he's one of the guys that could do it. And if he does it, why not? And at plus 2,800, that's what we're talking about here. If he hits 60 home runs in the NL, he's going to be one of the finalists, and he may win it, depending on, again, some of the other factors that are kind of out of his control.
Right.
Acuna season, injuries to any of the players that are favorites ahead of him. So there's definitely something that is a little interesting from a action standpoint when it comes to Pete and MVP. Any other NL MVP odds, Robbie, that maybe stand out to you?
Absolutely. I think Bryce Harper is someone we have to keep an eye on.
Okay.
Right?
Ooh.
Bryce Harper, look at all the injuries he's had in the last couple of years. He's going to, now I know you mentioned earlier first base. It is a lower value position, but it is Bryce Harper. And again, the eyes of the voters, right? Bryce Harper's a name, right? He's always going to be in that conversation if he puts up a good full season. I wonder how good he's going to be now that he's transitioned to first base. He's going to be able to focus on the hitting, and he's going to be healthy. I think Bryce Harper could be in for a big year. And right now, that's plus 1,000 on BetUS. So that's a decent little winnings, even if you put put down a few bucks. And Bryce Harper, we all know he's going to be in that conversation. So.
And now he's a first baseman. So we're going to have more battles between Pete and Bryce in that way, too. It's going to be really entertaining in the NL East.
So let's do this. Let's go to we're talking NL MVP. We're going to go to AL MVP. And for the American League MVP conversation, we're going to bring in a guest. I'm going to exit stage that way for a minute. And whichever one of our guests wants to come up, let's go. Welcome in Mike from Stark Raving Sports. He's going to take my spot because there's not enough room for all three of us. And you guys are going to talk AL MVP.
There we go. For those that don't know, this is Mike from Stark Raving Sports, one of the best baseball channels out there. He's got fans in the audience if you can't hear him yet. Mike, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. A pleasure to be here.
Welcome to the show.
Appreciate it very much.
Okay, so now let's take this discussion to the AL MVP. We talked, of course, me sharing my Mets bias per usual, Robbie being the rational one. Robbie is a closet Phillies fan, too, for the NL. He's made it abundantly clear the past couple of years. So
don't tell
my
him.
apologies, Mets fans. But now let's talk about the AL MVP. And, Robbie, I'm going to let you lead the way in this one. Looking at the BetUS odds right now, what do you like? And ultimately, who is your personal favorite to win it all this year?
Well, just so happens I already put down a bet.
Oh, did
on
you?
BetUS. I did this about a month and a half ago.
Oh,
boys.
You sly devil, you. What did you do?
I went Julio Rodriguez. I went Julio Rodriguez. I'm
Love that.
confident.
Love that.
An amazing second half. Got off to the slow start. Probably shouldn't have even been in the home run derby, to be completely honest.
Right.
It was like, why is he here? The numbers weren't very good. Good thing he went because I woke him up. All right. Second half was he was carrying that Mariners lineup. And obviously, they fell short of the playoffs, but they wouldn't have even been sniffing a playoff spot if it wasn't for him. Fantastic numbers in the second half. And now that he's gotten his sophomore slump under his belt, now that the Mariners lineup is a little deeper, he has a bit more protection with a guy, like Mitch Garver's in this lineup now, right? Hopefully Haniger can bounce back at the bottom of the order, right? So they got more extension in this lineup. And I think Julio Rodriguez could be in for a really big year. Plus 1,000 right now. I'm just saying. The guy's electric. I love me some Julio Rodriguez.
I love that pick. And before I share mine, what are the odds right now on Julio?
Plus 1,000 as of right now.
Plus 1,000. All right, folks. Again, if you like Julio for your AL MVP winner, make sure you get in on the action by, again, clicking the link or even, again, scanning the QR code that we got available. Use the iPhone. That's simple. Now, Mike, being the guest here, who do you got for your AL MVP and why?
Thank you. In terms of my MVP, I'm looking at the list here. I really like the value on Gunnar Henderson because we saw a top prospect rookie last year have a 6-WAR season and nobody noticed on a really good team too. I think that his odds here, if I'm looking correctly at the screen, plus 1,600, that feels really good for a really projectable, young, talented player who's already proven it. I also see Adolis Garcia at plus 5,000. considering he's a guy who just mashes on a good team. And I feel like we've never truly seen his breakout. Feels like a guy to watch too. But in terms of, my custom award, I've invented right now the MVTP in terms of most valuable Tommy Pham. It has to be also Tommy Pham.
Love that. Love that. And so right now, what did you say the odds were again?
On Adolis Garcia,
Yeah.
I see plus 5,000 on that screen, which looks
That's crazy. I mean, this is the man that helped not single-handedly, but without Adolis Garcia, the Texas Rangers don't have the run that they do.
No.
I mean, he was absolutely tremendous, literally a human highlight reel. And honestly, in certain ways, especially their build, showing my Mets bias again, gives me a little bit of Cespedes vibes too, especially in 2015 when he first arrived in Queens and the type of impact he had. I mean, Garcia just put on an absolute show. And yeah, absolutely big. And speaking of the Texas Rangers, they did take down a team early on in playoffs that goes in hand with my AL MVP pick. This might be the spiciest one you're going to hear, because if I'm going to say tired, I'm taking Juan Soto, the inevitable Met. And of course, it's going to upset those Yanks fans in the upcoming offseason. But wired, I'm going with the man in Baltimore. And that is yes. I don't care for messing it up.
I thought it was open. I thought it was open.
Gunnar Henderson, baby, plus 1,600. Hammer right now. This man, I had the privilege of witnessing in person in Camden last year. I kid you not, it was the start of his breakout last season. Hit a 3-run home run nuke against the Kansas City Royals and took down the AL for the remainder of the season. Gunnar Henderson, Jackson Holiday, Adley Rutschman, that entire Baltimore Orioles squad is an absolute wagon. I am hammering Gunnar Henderson 1,600. Give me that, baby. Love that.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
I like the Gunnar Henderson thing. Bobby Witt Jr. Anybody?
That's
Anybody?
a great one. That's
Bobby
a great one too.
Plus 2,000.
Plus 2,000. How did Ronald Acuna Jr. win the MVP last year? Video game numbers. Bobby Witt Jr. is the guy in that group that could put up video game numbers. If he goes 40, 50, which I'm not going to put it out of the possibility for Bobby Witt Jr. at plus 2,000, I'm just saying, he's my guy. I could not let this segment go without hopping in on Bobby Witt Jr.
Of course you can.
I'll let you guys continue.
Here, so we shared our picks, and you shared yours. Now, I'm going to ask you guys 2 dark horse picks. As we go down through the BetUS odds right now, too, obviously, we got some real dark horse ones. Some that I don't agree with whatsoever that they should even be consideration. Others where it actually does make some sense. So, Mike, starting with you, when you look at, say, the final 10 players here, which one do you think could surprise some people and why?
Oh, in terms of these bottom 10, Randy Arozarena is the 3rd lowest. And Randy Arozarena is a guy who oozes MVP vibe.
Always.
So, if he just has a year that's, remotely in the conversation, he probably coasts there on image alone. Just because of how naturally gifted he is, too. With, we haven't even seen him fully put it together. But you've seen he really has the capability to have all 5 tools. We just haven't seen it in a season. And he does it in the most, aesthetically pleasing way possible.
He does.
So, I said that I was fortunate enough to be on Barreled Up with you, and I was looking for Jim as well. And I said I wore a Randy Arozarena graphic tee. There's Jim's thumb. And because I was saying he was my star of the season for a little bit because I didn't care about his statistics. Look at the hitting the pose, everything. He's doing. I can't even form sentences about it. He's so good. Yeah, I think you get what I'm putting down. You've probably seen him do this thing a good amount. He's going to probably do it a lot this year.
Awesome. Mike, I love that. Robbie, who you got?
I'm going to go Royce Lewis.
Royce Lewis. All right, there you go. Royce Lewis right now. What are the odds we're looking at with Royce?
Plus 4,000.
Plus 4,000.
Right now.
There you go.
He was a monster when he came back last year. I believe right around 58 games last year, hit 309, 372 on base, 548 slugging, 15 homers, had 4 homers in the postseason. Royce Lewis, man, I love him. I just hope he stays healthy. That's the big thing. He can mash. So
talk about speaking healthy. Let's stay on the Minnesota train. And this is a man that I've adored for I don't even know how many years. I just want him to stay healthy. Yes, I do not foresee it happening, but my man Byron Buxton. Okay, we got him right now at plus 8,000 odds. That is as underdog as one can get, literally. But he'll have flashes of absolute brilliance where he's hitting nukes every single time out there. And then you're wondering where exactly did he go? So not Bryce, but Byron, it's important that he stays healthy. And that Minnesota Twins team, they have pieces. They've had those weapons. Can they have a bounce back a bit from Carlos Correa, right? Royce, of course, can he stay healthy? And same thing with Byron. The Twins are going to be an interesting, pretty fascinating team to watch this year. But overall, I think we hit the nail on the head with everything with the AL MVP. So from there, Jim, where should we transfer now?
Get out of here, Robbie.
All right.
Be gone.
I'm out.
I just blew like a few hundred people's ears off. I apologize for that. Let's bring in our next guest. And I tell you what, let's do this. Mike, hang out. Mike, and we're going to bring in Mark from, well, not from Giraffe Neck Mark, but Giraffe Neck Mark in. One of the three. This is going to be a Mets minute for a minute. And then we're going to, okay. Pick the odds. Where do you guys want to go next?
Let's take it to, let's go NL Cy Young. That sounds like a really good conversation right about now. So,
What are
again,
Nate Lavender's
for
odds?
Nate Lavender's odds, all I know is we're hammering.
Minus 200.
Minus 200. So, for those that are unaware, Mark, me, Mike, we're all diehard Mets fans. So, this might be cringy depending on who's watching this one. So we're getting into it now. We really are. But if we're going to do our best not to be home, I promise you I'm not going to say right away that Adrian Hauser is going to win NL Cy Young.
It's going to be tough.
You know, it is going to be tough, though.
To do that.
All right. So, Mark, you're the new man on the panel. Let's start with you. If you look at the BetUS odds,
Let me see these.
who do you think is going to win the NL Cy Young? And tell me why.
Let me see these odds real quick.
There you go.
I'll tell you right now. It's tough not to pick Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler's so good.
There we go.
Zach Wheeler's so good. Like again,
New
we're
contract.
talking about favorites. Just got paid again. He's thrown like 200 innings the last couple seasons. Strikes everybody out. Throws 100 miles an hour. I think he's a little underrated, honestly. Like he's just one of the 5 best pitchers in baseball, and I think this could be the year where it all comes together for him. He has very similar stuff and numbers to Garrett Cole, and Garrett Cole won in the American League last year, so I think Wheeler is a pretty good bet right now in the NL.
I like that. I like that a lot. I'm a huge Wheeler fan, always have been, and I'm not going to talk about Brody. Not going to do it. All right, Mike, starting with you. Who do you got for your NL Cy Young pick and why?
Looking at the list, I think that in terms if you want like who do I think is like the safe pick to win the award, I also really like Zach Wheeler. I think that I'm also
Mets fans were smart.
I'm a big believer in volume for these things. He goes out there and he gives you quality innings without the expense of them not being good innings. If last year he was still mid threes and it was his weakest season in a few years, that says a lot. He got paid the big bucks for a reason. You saw him in the postseason. I think he's fantastic. In terms of like the down ballot type guys I saw on the screen, I am going to use this as an opportunity to talk about Yuri Perez because
good pick.
I don't even think he can legally drink alcohol. I'm not sure he's even 21, and he is ridiculous. He's 6'9". He's shown a lot of talent. You're just waiting for that season to happen the same way it did for like Dwight Gooden, if you want to pull another Mets comp, that like he's just so ahead of the curve in age. Like everyone here on this panel, we all got baby faces, but we're all older than him, which I think says a lot. We're a team that's just been printing out pitching. It's hard not to be like over the moon about his capability, even right now.
The only concern with him is I think they said he's on innings limit this year.
I did just say that I think innings matter a lot, but I'm saying
stuff-wise, he's like one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Say he has the Corbin Burns 2021 type year where he just gives you 150 ridiculous innings. I think that if we're just talking about value on that board and using this as an excuse to say, hey, this guy's really good, I think he makes a ton of sense to use that spot for here.
So Yuri Perez, I love that as well, especially you obviously being in the area. You know, you hit those Marlins games, you know them pretty well. Now, for me personally, there's a lot of options. You guys picked a great one in Wheeler, of course. Of course, you could go with the favorite by far right now is Spencer Strider at plus 550 odds. Yes, I know us Mets fans don't like that, but there's no denying Strider is a strikeout king. But honestly, the strikeouts, I'm not buying too much. I want effectiveness. I want you to get quality outs. It doesn't matter necessarily how you're getting them as long as you're being effective in doing so. If you're striking out everyone and their mother, that's great. But if you're giving me a 4+ ERA, I don't know how much I care about that if it's not automatically equating to the team having success. So when I evaluate what is available right now, there's a lot of really interesting options to me. And there's 2 that stand out that I'm going to talk to you about today. And I'm going to start with a big dark horse as well. I shouldn't say too big of a dark horse, but one that isn't talked about enough, and that is Justin Steele of the Chicago Cubs. Steele had a really, really nice season this past year with the Cubs, and actually, let's take a look at his numbers right now. 3.06 ERA, 3.5 expected rate, roughly a 5 WAR in 170 innings, just under a 10K per nine, just under 2 walks per nine this past season. Steele has been very effective, and he's so young. That's the big thing with him. This is only his first 3 seasons in the majors. Now he's with a Cubs team that is the most talented it's been yet. They're going to be pushing for playoffs, obviously. There's going to be more added incentive and pressure, but I think he's going to live up to it. Justin Steele is going to headline that rotation with a lot of other nice pieces, including Shota Imanaga. You see Jameson Taillon that's trying to have a bounce back, had a really piss-poor first half, nice second half, so he's trying to work on that arsenal more. So, yeah, I like Justin Steele quite a bit. And another one I like also, too, and shout out to my man, of course, at Jolly Olive, because I know he feels the same way. And that's Freddie Peralta of the Milwaukee Brewers at plus 3,000 odds. Peralta is another very crafty righty, young, again, controllable, only 26, 27 years of age. Jesus Luzardo is another absolute beauty, too. It's all about the amount of innings these guys are going to eat. But now with Corbin Burns out of the way, all eyes are on Freddie Peralta as that true ace, the new man leading the way in that rotation in Milwaukee. Yes, this might be an underwhelming season for them, but I don't think it's going to be too underwhelming on the pitching staff front. And that is why I'm going to go with Freddie Peralta. So let us know in the live chat, guys, who you have for your Cy Young picks out of the NL, whether it's through Robbie's stream, whether it's through Jim's stream or my stream. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button. Greatly appreciate it. And make sure you're checking out our great friends at BetUS as we're here at the BetUS house. You can scan the QR code to sign up today with our awesome promo, or you can click the link down below.
Well done.
Thank you.
So I'm looking at this. Robbie and I wanted to get in and give our NL Cy Young,
Of course.
opinions and thoughts.
The game's all here. I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like the NL Cy Young is a little bit of a toss-up.
Yeah.
Of all of the awards that we have looked at, this is the one that could literally go either way. In the American League, we'll talk about this in a minute. I think Garrett Cole is plus 500 at AL Cy Young, and he seems like a runaway at plus 500. It compared to the other talent there. Here, anything could happen. I think it's Strider. Strider's working on. We got a curveball that looks pretty nasty this spring. I'll go Strider, and at plus 550, that's still a great payout. I mean, for the favorite in the National League. What about you? What do you think, Robbie?
Yeah, I'm absolutely going Strider as well. The guy was nasty off of 2 pitches, added in a curve. He's going to absolutely dominate. He's struck out almost 500 batters combined the last 2 seasons. The voters love strikeouts. I would also keep an eye on Logan Webb. I like me some Logan Webb. I hope he can pull it all together this coming year. He's just so good to me. He's the modern day Greg Maddux to me. He's just so good. I love me some Logan Webb. So, but Spencer Strider's my pick.
Logan Webb right now, for those that are wondering, is at plus 950 on his odds. So for those San Fran Giants fans out there, or if you're like Robbie, who just knows Logan Webb is that guy, make sure you get in on the action for there. So we talked about NL. Let's shift things to AL, shall we?
Yeah, let's go AL Cy Young here.
And again, if you guys haven't already, thank you all so much for being here. Smash those buttons. Also, these guys, Draft Night Mark, you know him, but if you don't, subscribe to him. One of the best baseball YouTubers out there. Same applies to Mike at Stark Raven Sports. Absolute beauties. Evergreen content. There you go. Anything relevant in MLB, you got Mark. So there we go, baby. So now let's go talking about AL. And I'm going to start with Robbie on this one. Robbie, when we take a look at the AL Cy Young, right? I know you got a lot of Cy Young options there in Boston. Who's your pick?
I really want to go George Kirby.
You really want to go?
Really want to go George Kirby. He's got a nice little odds right here. I think my blurry vision 1,400 for right now. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. Right now, I mean, I think Cole is just locked in right now. I know he's the odds-on favorite right now. I just like me some Garrett Cole right now. But George Kirby, I really want.
What team do you like?
I know.
Yeah.
I'm a Red Sox fan. Listen, but this is how I've gained, some people to like my face a little bit. I have to be down the middle.
Pick a Philly.
I'm just saying. Garrett Cole, he's very good. I do like him. I would love to see George Kirby take a step forward this year. We'll have to see if he can step it up.
So Garrett Cole is plus 500. Again, that's amazing odds for the runaway, right? You put $100 down, you win $500 on the favorite. And the guys after him, Gosman's dealing with a shoulder thing. Valdez was a mess last year. And then everybody else after that is over plus 1,000. So the favorite at plus 500 is incredible. But let me throw a name out there. And those of you came through to this stream from my channel, you saw the thumbnail. Where would we put Blake Snell when he inevitably finally signs with the Angels? Because that's going to happen. Let me go through the list of these AL Cy Young winners, their odds, and stop me when I have gone too far, when I have named a pitcher that you're like, no, Snell is ahead of that guy. Obviously, we're not putting Snell ahead of Cole. Are we putting Snell ahead of Kevin Gausman?
No.
Are we putting Snell ahead of Framber Valdez?
No.
It's close.
Close.
Would-
Not,
say no
not
for
with the
this.
shortened spring. Not with the shortened spring.
Let's say no
Good-
for the purposes of
Good
this
point.
conversation.
But would we give so the next one is Pablo Lopez at plus 1,600.
I love Pablo.
Yeah,
He's winning. He's winning.
So,
I do
he's
too.
so
I
underrated.
do too.
I love
He's
Pablo.
so underrated.
So that plus 1,600 is kind of dogging it. Like that could be better.
I
That's
think
great
he's
value.
I
Great
would
value
pick
for
him number
betting.
one.
Yeah.
I was with you. Like,
Then you got Luis Castillo. Are we getting to a point where we're at Blake Snell yet?
man, Luis
Not
Castillo's so good.
Not quite.
George Kirby,
Nope. George Kirby, I'm
You're
taking.
close.
Logan Gilbert.
Yes, he's better.
Yeah.
So right there.
That's it.
So we would go Blake Snell with the what my
That
eyes
sounds
are
like-
looking at 7th best odds, 6th best odds.
1,500, 1,600 guy.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Next up is Dylan Cease, who he's basically the same as, and they're at their ceilings
Right.
now. So
Right.
I think that's definitely the border.
I got one name.
Okay.
Listen, everyone.
don't do it.
Cole Reagans in the
Okay.
second half last year
That's fine.
was so good.
He was.
He was so good in the second half. Can he
Mhm.
keep it going? Do you guys think he could keep it going?
Why not?
Maybe. Kansas City, they're fun right now, man. They're fun. Cole Reagans, how fun would that
Mhm.
be? The next ace of the major leagues, one of the next
Wow.
aces. I'm just saying.
So there are so many great options in Seattle. So
Yeah.
like really you could take your pick there. I'm so in love with their rotation, everything they're doing right now between Castillo, Kirby, obviously they're Gilbert, you got Wu on the back end, they got all these pieces. But there is a name out there that is a little slept on too, is a teammate of Pablo Lopez's, Joe Ryan. I really think Joe Ryan is an interesting pick as well here for the Mets. And not for the Mets, my goodness. Again, this is what happens. We cover the Mets for a living. But Ryan right now at the odds currently, is he at 4,500?
Yeah.
There we go, 4,500 odds. That's a big jump too, from Grayson Rodriguez at 2,200 to Joe Ryan at 4,500. I actually like that a lot for Joe Ryan personally. So when you guys look, especially as from say 4,000 odds lower, which ones stand out to you and why? And Mark, I'll start with you.
Where's Tarek Skubal? Where is he?
Where is
We got to get some odds on him.
That's the guy who I was thinking.
But
Yeah.
he's going to be like plus 2,000. In the 4,000 or less, guys that I like. I mean, Bailey Ober's throwing like 95 right now. That's kind of crazy. If he does that, Christian Javier is a wizard. He could possibly do it. Yeah, I'm gonna go Javier. Christian Javier. He's what, plus 7,000? It looks like. He just has like arguably the best fastball in the game, and it's only getting better. At the second half of last year, he like remembered how to pitch, and he was
Right.
disgusting because he was terrible in the first half. He was
Oh, it's
awful.
brutal.
So Christian Javier with the pitching lab with the Astros, with all the information that they have, he's a pretty good bet, and he's their ace now. I don't know who it would be outside. I mean, Verlander's not the ace anymore.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. All right, what about you, Jim? When you look at these odds from 4,000 down, anyone that stands out to you in particular? Because the beauty about Cy Youngs is that it's such a toss-up.
Can come out of nowhere.
It really can, because you can have, again, Garrett Cole, for example, leading the way, but God forbid if something happens to him or anything else is leading the way, just health-wise, it completely opens up the floodgates just like that. So
I mean, you've got the bounce back candidates, right? Like
Right.
Tristan McKenzie coming back off of injury. If he can be lights out, I think McKenzie at plus 8,000 is at least somebody to keep an eye on. I would go if I can't go Javier because Mark took that one. I like that one. The next one on this list, I would go Tristan McKenzie at that plus 8,000 because he's coming off of injury. We know he can pitch. I'll go McKenzie.
Tristan McKenzie, got to stay healthy, baby. McKenzie is an absolute beauty, though, when he
Eats
can
a
stay
lot of
on the
innings.
field.
When he's healthy.
For sure. Okay.
All right.
Where are we going from here? Anyone else want to share any Cy Young picks? Or are we good?
I do like the Scooble.
He's not even
We
there.
talked about
Yeah,
that today.
but
I know.
yeah,
It'll
that's something that will be
it'll-
updated for
keep
sure.
an eye on that for sure.
Honestly, we can probably come back tomorrow, and I bet it'll be there.
Yes.
May
So-
I also
Yeah.
throw a name that I don't see here that I think
Yes.
is better than some? Marcus Stroman's better than a few of these names. I haven't seen him on this list at all. He consistently gives you good seasons. I think that he deserves being on this list.
I put Marcus Stroman in the same category as Nick Pivetta, so I agree with that.
He deserves being on this list.
Yeah.
Where's Carlos Rodon?
That's my boy. I love saying he's going to win the Cy Young this year every time I get a chance. It's so much fun to just like rile up Yankee fans. It's like the one time where I'm positive about the Yankees and they're like, "What is going on? I hate this guy. How are you positive about him?" And I'm like, "Dude, because he was 98. He's sick. He's sick when he's healthy."
I just did. Robbie, Jim, we all have for the most part have done our segments with Bleacher Report. Shout out to BR as always. And the other day when I was talking about them, it was exactly about what you were talking about with Carlos Rodon as bounce back candidates. And even though I had him at 1, I explained all the reasons for and against. You had Yanks fans like there is no chance he's cooked. It's 160 plus right down the drain. Like there's no hesitation. They've already settled. He got beat up by his teammates, so it's over clearly. So yeah, that's how some people feel about Rodon. But we talked about NL Cy Young. We talked about AL Cy Young. We wanted the MVPs. Is there anything else we would like to deep dive?
Do you want to talk about rookies?
We can talk about some rookies for sure. Yeah, let's get into the rookie conversation.
Are we banning Yoshinobu Yamamoto from the National League discussion?
Don't talk about him. He's your favorite.
So after Yamamoto, who would be the runner-up? Who's finishing second in the NL? That's a good call.
Truly
banning Showtime.
The only reason why I didn't pick Yamamoto when I absolutely think he's like top 3 in the mix is just because, again, like Kodai Senga for us Mets fans, we just have to see at the MLB level how durable he's going to be, being able to transition, pitching every 5th day or however they're going to go about their rotation configuration there in LA. That's the thing. There's just uncertainty still. So once we find out exactly what we're getting, then I'll have a better evaluation on Yamamoto at the MLB level.
I'm not uncertain.
You're not uncertain.
He's like one of the 5 best pitchers in baseball right now.
Oh, I agree. But having the talent and showcasing are 2 different things, though. We have to see it. I mean, there's no denying. For his size, the type of arsenal that he has is just not fair. That's why all of us Mets fans universally cried when he went to LA. So it is what it is. Now let's get into the rookie conversation.
Let's do rookies. If you want to pull that up there, let's again, Yamamoto. It's funny because the National League is going to have Yamamoto, Lee, Imanaga. Like, there's no chance a domestic is going to grab Rookie of the Year. Is it on there?
Where would it be?
Season awards.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, season awards?
Yep. There you go.
Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go.
Yamamoto, Lee, Noelvi Marte, cross that one out.
Oh, my God.
Sorry.
I feel so bad for Reds fans. Like, that Reds team is such a wagon this year, too. Marte surprised everyone kind of when he got his call up, and then, bam, 80 games, sayonara. That's it.
Is there anybody that you think could snipe it from Yamamoto?
I think Jackson Chourio being like the 4th most odds is already. Look at the guys he's in that track record with of like center fielders who come up that young, that paid.
Right.
Like, I think that he has all of the precedent of everything around him that guys like him just come up and are amazing.
Right.
So I feel like that. So they've the Brewers locked him up. Right. The Brewers don't give out deals like candy on Halloween. I think that that says way more than I think we're reading into as a baseball community. He feels like arguably the sexiest option on the whole list.
He's the Corbin Carroll this year, in my opinion.
Good call.
I thought of my funny pick.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What's your funny pick? Panamark real quick.
My funny pick is Sixto Sanchez. He is still
he touched 96.
He touched 96. He is still rookie eligible because he pitched in 2020 and he threw like 39 innings or something that year. So he is technically still rookie eligible. Be 4 years after he made his debut. Sixto Sanchez, just for the memes. He's not on here though.
That would be a story and a half.
I mean, rightfully so.
He's not even probably going to make the roster. But I
really
just
questioning why the odds aren't there for Sixto Sanchez.
Whatever he's going to be like plus 10,000. Just sprinkle a couple dollars.
That would be the story of the season.
Yeah,
that would be. So, all right. Now, Robbie, what's your pick? Who do you got for NL Rookie of the Year?
I'm going Chourio as well.
Okay.
I like Chourio. I think it's a solid all-around player. They're confident in him. He's going to get a lot of playing time to showcase. In the minors, one thing he was working on was the chase rate, being a little too aggressive, but he's been working on that. He was working on it in the second half last year. I think he's going to be a fun player to watch. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I have to go with Yamamoto. Like, I can't even try to work around it. I'm sorry. This is going to be probably one of the few picks where it's like, yes, it's the favorite. I'll be surprised if it's otherwise. Mike, what about you?
Oh, I was all over Jackson.
Oh, duh. Jim?
I'm Yamamoto, but if somebody doesn't, Sixto all the way. All right, let's go. Let's talk AL.
Let's talk AL.
For AL, I would like to nominate future Boston Red Sox left fielder Robbie Hyde. I've seen him play for the Humongous Mountains for 2 years.
My hips are too broken.
I don't know.
Sorry for laughing at your pain.
There we go. This is gonna.
This
be
is
fun
a great one
this
because
is fun.
because
Yeah.
the two that's tied. It's Jackson Holiday and Evan Carter
Right.
at plus 275. We've seen Evan Carter
Yes.
at the major league level when it counts the most. Jackson Holiday we have seen at spring training. Wyatt Langford, though, may be the guy that wins it. The AL Rookie of the Year, unlike the NL Rookie of the Year, is very interesting.
So fun.
Oh my God. Let me go first just because I'm in the area. Jackson Holiday. I would love to witness a Rookie of the Year campaign from Jackson Holiday. I do think he makes the club day one, which is going to kill Evan Carter. Only way Evan Carter wins it is if Jackson Holiday spends a month down in the minors and gets a head jump on him.
I'm going to go Evan Carter here just because, one, I got to be different, and two, not pick the exact tippity top of the list. They're both at plus 275 for their odds, which, again, still solid odds for two guys that clearly look like they're going to be leading the way a little bit here. But Evan Carter, what stood out to me so much wasn't just his run last year, but ultimately having that World Series experience this soon into his career is going to be absolutely crucial, and I think it's going to help him tremendously throughout the course of 162. So Evan Carter, that's definitely my pick from the Texas Rangers. What about you, Robbie?
Guys, it's Wyatt Langford.
It's Wyatt Langford.
What are you thinking? Have you seen what he's been doing in the minor leagues? He has a better slash line through 44 games. Well, maybe not exactly 44 games for the other players, but whatever. Better slash line than both Barry Bonds and Mike Trout by far.
Combined? Is it combined?
Probably. He's that good. He is that good. Well, did you see how quickly he went through the minor leagues last year?
He tore it up.
And he's just killing it in spring training. My dark horse pick, because of his mustache, is Kyle Manzardo. I do like me some Kyle Manzardo. But he also hit really well when he went to Cleveland after that trade. And I think he's already, a pretty close to major league ready bat. So I like me some Kyle Manzardo. He also liked my tweet when I said his best
That's all
tool,
you need.
when I said his best tool coming out of the draft was his mustache.
Can I raise you this? So you talk about liking the tweet. I had Nolan Shonowell in my video.
That's better than mine. Talk away, my friend.
And you talked about Wyatt Langford going through. Nolan Shonowell was the fastest big league position player to the big leagues in almost 50 years. I have to remove the personal bias though, because I'm going to vouch for Nolan's play, his character, his story, doing the video on him and knowing him personally. Junior Camineiro's odds as the fifth most are ridiculous. Junior Caminero is fantastic. He's got all five tools potentially. He's got a team that knows how to foster their young talent. He's so capable right away. I know I just was on the Randy Rosarena train 10 minutes ago.
Right.
But there's a universe where Junior Caminero is their best player this time next year.
I love that pick, and I'm so glad you brought that up because the Tampa Bay Rays always get the best out of all their young studs coming up. And it doesn't really matter, what type of ranking they were. They always get the best out of their players. So I agree with you completely. That's an awesome one too. If I'm not going Carter, I really love that pick. Mark, what about you?
I'm gonna pick a fun one here because it's gonna be my vibe. Aurelvis Martinez. The Blue Jays need a third baseman. He's gonna play third base. He can rake. He has crazy power potential. He should start opening day. I don't know how he's playing in spring training. It shouldn't matter. He's better than Kevin Biggio or Santiago Espinal. Those guys stink. So get Aurelvis Martinez into the lineup. Play him at third base. Who cares if he's a butcher? He's gonna hit 35 home runs. That's a Rookie of the Year.
Aurelvis Martinez currently is at plus 5,000 odds for those Blue Jays fans out there. Hammer, all right.
Throw $20 down.
And
don't go to Taco Bell. Put $20 down on Aurelvis Martinez. Your wallet and your stomach will thank you.
And speaking of Blue Jays too, Ricky Tiedemann. Got to ask you real quick. How do you feel about those odds at plus 3,000?
I don't know when he's going to be up.
Yeah,
I mean that's the problem is that he is behind. The guys that he's behind. He's behind Manoah, behind Kikuchi, behind a murderer's row starter. Behind Yariel Rodriguez, who's never thrown
Jackson
a pro
Holiday
inning.
just hit a freaking nuke grand slam.
Really.
Today.
That was the best part of today.
That's the worst part. I feel like this front office will hold him back, even though he's clearly the better of those four. Tiedemann may spend a month down in the minors, and then what happens if he struggles? What happens if he gets off to a slow start? So that'd be the only glitch or hang-up I would have with Tiedemann is that he starts in the minors and he stays down there for too long. Doesn't have enough time to catch up to because look, if the bats are tearing it up, the bats are going to have the edge over the pitchers.
Right.
So that'll be the thing. If Jackson Holiday, Evan Carter, Wyatt Langford are tearing it up, Ricky Tiedemann could come in there and go 10-0. He's going to be at a disadvantage.
Are there any prospects that we haven't discussed that you say absolutely at least acknowledge, keep an eye out for this season?
Sedan Raphael, I have no bias involved at all.
Oh, he's a stud.
Yeah,
He's a monster.
we love
Like me
prospects.
some, okay, maybe a little bit of bias. I like me some Sedan Raphael,
Mhm.
not just because should be the next Red Sox center fielder, but energetic player, lots of speed, very good defensively out in center field, and the bat has looked really good so far this spring. He's really cleaned up on the chase rate. That was one thing that was being held against him, but he's looking a little more patient at the plate, and he's getting the hits still. So I think Sedan Raphael could be a fun rookie this year.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mark,
don't got anybody.
You don't got
I
anybody?
can't think of anybody off the top of my
Anybody else, Mike?
I'll go a nationally guy. No one said Paul Skeens. Paul,
No?
Sure, he
It's
might-
the pitching thing. I
Yeah,
think
that's the only reason.
now
why I-
Yamamoto's a pitcher, and but he's a different animal.
He's
Good
all,
start
Skeens
here.
is also.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he's
was going
got
to say
power
the big
power.
variable here is that just guys who are up on opening day generally have the advantage.
Yeah.
It's just like for lack of not touching on the fact that the number
Sure.
one pick in the draft could be making starts by like June 10th or whatever.
Fair.
That's
Very fair.
Mhm.
very very difficult to achieve, and he's on the precipice of doing it this year.
I have to encourage everybody watching on YouTube right now to hit the like if you are enjoying this live stream collaboration. Look at this. How often do you get the 5 of us together in one screen in one place? If you are enjoying the stream, hit the like. I don't know what the milestones are because we have them everywhere, but get to the next roundest number. Robbie's at 116. Get him up to 150. I have no idea what I'm at. Guys,
I have no idea what I'm at. either.
100 likes for me, everyone. 100
Hammer.
likes. Come on.
Just hammer. The same
get-
way that you boy, atta girl.
Do it up.
Appreciate it. Guys, I think this was a huge success. I cannot thank BetUS and the BetUS House enough for making the show happen. And before we wrap things up, Jim, Robbie, any kind of closing thoughts here?
we are going to be back again tomorrow night. We're going to be back tomorrow night. We will be back on Tuesday night. So this is night 1 of 3 live streaming. We're doing players. We're going to get to teams, over-unders. We're going to get to World Series, playoffs. We're going to dig into all of that with all of us around, unless somebody disappears for some reason. So make sure you set a reminder to come on back tomorrow night.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Shout out Giraffe Neck Mark, as always. Shout out Mike at Stark Raven Sports. Shout out Jim
Thank you,
Ballcap
guys.
Sports. Robbie Hyde.
I got
This
one
is your boy Wardy.
Wait,
We'll talk to you
Rob-
guys again.
Robbie's got something.
I got one more thing. Just want to
Oh.
say, like,
I'm jumping the gun.
giving a,
Bonus content for those of you that hung out through the wind down.
a little something for the audience. We did this last year. We're in a living room on a couch with a webcam, and didn't really know what we were doing, and we kind of just threw something together at the last second. So I think it's really cool that we're all here outside in this like setup that we've put together,
So
with
nice.
lights and a camera.
We're going to go jump in the pool in a second.
And yeah, and like I gotta say, it's really cool how far you guys have come this year. All of us this year, and to be able to do this together, I mean that's awesome. And I think that's amazing to me that we have grown this far together to be able to actually do something like this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, thank you to BetUS for giving us this
Yes.
opportunity to
Yes.
put us together like this. But hey, let's keep doing this, right? Let's have a fun couple of nights here. Let's put a couple of more good shows together.
Yes, we are. And I, again, can't thank you guys enough for helping make this happen, too. I mean, I can tell you guys personally, for those that are just interested, I mean, being in this creator space over the years has been nothing short of like the best thing imaginable, truly. Going from something that's a hobby that you love, you care about, you're passionate about, just a diehard fan for a specific team or MLB coverage as a whole, like these guys, and make it our daily day-to-day living. And to be able to get to the point where we're doing stuff like this, we're on the fly, we're on the go. I mean, it really is tremendous, and it's all because of you watching. So seriously, I can't thank enough every single one of you guys, whether you're new subscribers, previous subscribers, whoever. If it wasn't for you, none of this is possible, and we're going to be doing a lot more fun stuff together in the near future.
Legendary. I have a question though. Jason Dominguez is he still got rookie eligibility? Anybody fact check that real quick?
Well, he's
Does
still
Dominguez have rookie eligibility?
Yeah.
What like?
he's at plus 3,000.
Oh, he's right there. I didn't
Yeah.
even see it. I was.
Yeah, the alien,
Kyle
the Martian.
Manzardo. Kyle Manzardo threw me off. I'm going through the chat, taking a look and seeing what people have been saying. And somebody brought up
Jason Dominguez. So someone has a Dominguez shout out in there. All right.
All right,
I think that's a wrap for night one. Thank you all again for coming in and spending time hanging out. Come on back tomorrow. We are going to do it again and talk about some teams.
And we'll make sure the shows are also set up in advance too, so that way you guys aren't hit as last minute like you were today. We're getting everything figured out, so that way we know how to go about these shows for the coming days. We should be good to go. So next time we do our live show, you should know hours in advance. So appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you again real soon. Peace out, everybody.